Red light's on. Hopefully the live is working. What's happening, FEESH and friends? Welcome to another live. And tonight's live is going to be gear. This gear, that gear, everywhere, buying gear, gear that I want to use in 2024, gear that I'm excited to see. My camera's a little, I knocked my my screen over earlier trying to clean up. So, but yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. Gear stuff. I'm going to try to hit everything. Was going back looking through comments. What else do we have here? There was a couple of good questions. I should have been pinging stuff here. Let's see. I was giving Liza crap earlier. She said she fell asleep during my members only live because it was so boring. And she said she's just here to see all the gray that appeared in my beard. Dude, I know. Liza, holy crap. My beard the last year has gotten crazy. I'm getting old, man. You know, I'm gonna be past my prime here. Gonna be out to pasture before long, and guys and gals have to find somebody else to watch. Let's see. Corrado as king. I'm not doing a. What did the Burley guys? I didn't watch theirs. What ended up as king of theirs for the gear rods and reel, or for the reels? Let's see. SLX MGL is a good bait caster. I do enjoy it. And this light doesn't help. The blue light like brings out all the gray in it. Gosh, I'm going to have to start using Just for Men or whatever that stuff is that colors it. And that hides it a little bit. Oh, Debo, you're old. Uncle Debo. Couple people were commenting on my video, said, I love watching Uncle Debo. I learned a lot from him. I guess I'm just old. I don't know. Gramps started that, and I always just thought that was what you went by. If you don't, well then, I'm sorry, but I'm still just going to call you Liza. So there. LFS or Shimano SLX. That's a great one. Cody coming in with the heat. Okay. Unpopular opinion here, but I'm picking the Lose LFS. For me, if I'm thinking, and my explanation is when I'm thinking beginners or people like just kind of getting into the $100 bait casters and stuff, the thing that I like about the LFS is the braking system and fit in hand. I think, you know, when Lose broke into the market with, you know, the $99 LFS, fit in hand is awesome. And the SLX is great in hand too, but just for me, the way it fits me, I like the magnetic brakes better. I think it's an easier reel to use overall. SLX I do think is smoother. Good small profile. I mean, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. Just the what is it, VBS or whatever the brakes are, the 4 pins. I would like to see that bumped up, maybe to add 6 of it, and I think that would help. But because if you're in windy conditions or you're throwing a big lure that kind of stalls in the air, the SLX kind of sucks with that. That's why it is a little bit better to bump up and go with the SLX XT. Man, we need to get some visuals going up here. Just to show you all what we're talking about here, I am going to go to the Warehouse to Tackle. Of course, I did partner with them, so I've got my link below. If you use it, great. If you don't, I don't mind either way. Go to Omnia or ALF, whatever y'all prefer. I'm not going to beg you and tell you, please use this one. Go here. You got to. Now, go where you like. Do what you like. This one, though, I did see, now I was looking through this, the savings were kind of lame on this, but I did see this one. This is a reel that I never used. I've heard people liked it, and the only reason I would recommend it, I have used. I didn't have one, but I used the was the Inception. That was like the 121, right? 130, the gray one. Great reel. This one's normally $99, but this is the only one in their lineup which really confused me that actually had an aluminum frame. Let's see. I think this is the one anyway. Hold on. I might be wrong. Yeah. Aluminum frame. So this was the only one because they had like a few at this price point. There was a black one. There's a couple other ones, but left and right and a 6-speed if you need one for $59. Goodbye with an aluminum frame too. So, and that's the thing, Cody too. Good pointing out those two, especially once you get to that $100 price point. LFS, SLX doesn't really matter. A lot of those at the $99 now are having that aluminum frame, which is going to last you overall. I'll go to battle with people over that one. I will have a pillow fight and hit you in the face with it. But there's like, you look at, this is the confusing thing is, so like, let's say I go to, and as we've talked about, I like Tack Warehouse, but the new website sucks. I don't like it at all. Because then you go down here and you go to like, let's say we go to casting reels, and I can pick from one of these, or you just start scrolling down. It's getting all kinds of weird stuff. I like before where it just showed the ones and you go into it. Like, oh, I don't see the brand. Well, now you have to go into all brands and look for it. I don't know. Guess I'm old school. And it does look better on computer, I think. Phone, it's kind of confusing. I'm going to pick on Lose here. I do like Lose, and I'm not throwing them under the bus or anything. I like their stuff, but some of the things that don't make sense to me is when you get into like the pretty reels or these reels that they're, you know, kind of gearing toward, I say, the younger audience. The Smash, I used it, was a good reel. Graphite frame, $100. There's no reason they should be making that for $100. That should be like a $59 reel. Same for this. This one really makes me scratch my head. I like the wind knobs, and that's, you're going to pay more for that. Once you start getting into the higher priced gear, it's going to be a lot of aesthetic stuff, materials. So paying for lighter gear, like little add-on knickknack type things. Like, so for this one, which how much do they actually cost? I don't know, but this one might not have it, but some of them, once you step up, yeah, this one might not have it. So like you see here, this one's made in China, and I don't think the LFS, I think they switched that to the Korean Doyo factory. But you know, this is the lower end, you know, Chinese made stuff. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not going to get into all that crap, because just because it's made in China or Korea, I'm not going there. I use it and tell you my experience. But even the LFS, when the LFS was made in China, still loved it. But these, it's a China made. It's not aluminum framed. Nothing real special about it for $170. This one always made me scratch my head. I'll take the LFS over this all day. I do like the wind knobs, but I don't think it's worth the extra $70. That's just me. I'm old. Get off my porch. Let's see. They're equal. Yeah, Mike. Both of those are really good reels. It's tough, but let's see. I think the LFS is more of a workhorse than the Shimano. Both of them are good. I mean, I think the Shimano casts a little bit smoother, reels smoother, but 6 one, half dozen the other, I guess. Let's see what else. Other questions on that? People talking back about those. Yeah, that was a really good. Do they still have that? If they do, we can go over there and look at some of the other sites too. I don't know. This wasn't really supposed to be a deal, like shop for deals, but I mean, we can do that if people want to see. Yeah, the Corrado K, what'd they have it for? $120, Mike? $130, something like that? That's a steal. Who bought new rods for Christmas? I did not buy any fishing gear for Christmas. Let's see. Let's see. Wes is looking for a new square bill rod, but not sure what to get. So my take on square bill rods, I know I get this question a lot, and this might not be where you're going with it, but a lot of people, like when they think any crankbait, the rod needs to be real soft and waffly. My take on certain things like lipless, square bill especially, is you want to have more of that, depending on how heavy you're throwing, medium or medium heavy, with more of that moderate fast. So the tip's good and spongy, but as you pull down into it, it's still got a really good backbone, because like if I'm ripping a lipless through grass, I want some backbone to it. I don't want it to be a real, you know, super parabolic, you know, when you kind of move it back and forth, it's real whippy. I don't want that for that, or a square bill when I'm knocking it around rocks and wood stumps, because then I'll hit things and it'll kind of stall for a second as my rod's bending over the lure wheel. So it's going like this. My rod's bending, then sometimes you can get strikes that way, but I like to feel stuff and be able to really kind of hammer it through, fish it a little bit more aggressive. So I would say like a 7-foot-ish, medium heavy, more of a moderate fast. And that's tough, like especially talking gear. Who was it? Oh, Philip. I was just talking to Philip Cheek, great supporter of the channel, the other day. He was looking at some of the FX custom rods. They hit him like, I think 30% off. Is it FX customs? There's two, or F5 is the other one. FX, I think, is what he uses. But he was looking at a new line, and even from the old line to the new line in the exact same specs, like 7-foot, I don't remember what it was, medium heavy, moderate fast, we'll just say, since we were talking about that. One was way whippier than the other. And that's the tough part in the industry is I can't I can't just tell you, oh yeah, go get a 7 foot medium heavy, moderate fast, and it'll feel exactly like this. Some places it feels a lot stiffer, more like a heavy. Some places it feels way more noodly, like a crankbait rod. Yeah, so that's the tough part. There's not an industry standard on a lot of those. So I will agree with Randizzle. That's why he likes to, excuse me, go to a lot of the local places and get his hands on it. See how it feels before he buys it. So let's see. My voice is going to be gone tonight. Love my tattoo. I've taken it apart and cleaned it, lubed it. Still sounds like it's full of gravel. Yeah, the tattoos, I will say that I'm kind of a Daiwa fanboy. I kind of like those the best, but they're not the smoothest. Uh, and they do have a little bit of a rattle, like kind of a sound to them. And I think a lot of that's the T-wing system. Feeling like gravel, I wouldn't say they feel like gravel. I wonder if did you get something in it? Could be a bearing. Could have got a little bit of sand. Man, it only takes like a couple of grains of sand, and it can wreak havoc on a reel and sound like crap too. Mike, the new Fenwick line. I actually do have. I got my hands on whatever the Whirl. Let's just look. I don't remember. I think it's the. I don't even remember. I'm not even going to say because I don't remember, and I'm probably going to be wrong. Not the Eagle. Okay, actually, here this is a really good. So I was listening to the Tackle Talk podcast a while back when they had the guy that does the work for these. Yeah, the world class one. I got a super cheap deal on it. So $450 rod, and it feels like it's an amazing rod. Super good. But anyway, Fenwick, I used to have like the HMX and the HMG back in the day. Our Tyson's sold them here. If you guys have a Tyson's, it's like a farm store. Great rods for the price. I think they were like 79 and 110 at that time. They've gone up a little bit, kind of like everything. But the cool thing that they did when they revamped the entire Fenwick line, so everything ranging from the Eagle, which is like the $99 reel, rod. I do want to get one of those and try for 99 bucks. I think that can be a really solid rod I'd like to try. But from any of those, the middle ones all the way up to the world class one, everything, and they got some on clearance. Everything that they've done now has the exact same actions. So if you like a 7'2", you buy an Eagle, you like the 7'2" medium heavy, you're like, man, this rod feels really good, but I want something lighter. I'm going to get one of the more expensive ones. The 7'2" is the exact same in that as far as like power and action feel. So that's something really cool that they've done over their whole line of rods. They all have the same types and the actions are all the same. So that's pretty cool. I don't know any other, brand that's done that. So maybe there have been some. Ralph in here, I do want to thank all of my members and, of course, our boys out there in the Army, boys and gals serving, have served, will serve. Appreciate the hell out of y'all. Tip my hat to you. Always appreciate your service. Chris Russ in the house. Old dirty dog Chris telling me to round down if I don't have batteries in my... I got multiple comments on that, Chris. People were cracking up. Go watch my last video. Anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, I ran out of batteries in my scale and Chris was making fun of me. Blind eye, I'm going to listen while I'm fixing bent soft plastics. What are you doing? Are you boiling them? Get them all soft again? That was one reason I hated flukes and I kind of shied away from flukes, is because I'd get a bag, they'd sit in my backpack, and then all the tails would get all crinkled and jacked up looking. And then I would just throw a Senko instead. I've kind of gone to them more now and make sure I try to keep them straight up and down in the bag as much as I can anyway. Oh yeah, and good call, Victor. Happy New Year's to everyone. Creeping up, it's going to be 2024. That's a good question. What kind of gear do you all want to see in 2024? Is there a certain reel, rod, things that are already out? Or is there something different you'd like to see? Like, do you want to see a revamp of a reel? They just did the SLX. I did a video on that showing the old one compared to the new one. Something new you'd like to see that maybe is older that could make a comeback. That's always fun too. Little Rich, I'm buying my out-of-state fishing licenses. Any suggestions? We'll have to get Randall back on for that one. Old Dizzle, he has all the fishing license trivia for you. Let's see. Yeah, your chin's taking the old gray on it now too. I know, dude. It's dude right here. These two patches. Everything else is like I have like little sprigs here and there. I might have to go back to the big goatee. What do you think? Nah, then I'll have all kinds of random women following me, and my wife will be all pissed because I'm so good looking that way. Oh my God. My buddy Tim just dropped a 20 bomb. Holy smokes. Timmy boy. Oh, Timmy, I appreciate you, brother. I'll drink to that one. Tim is a work friend. Good cat. I appreciate that. We were just talking about the live before this. Very, very much appreciate that, dude. Let's see. Wellness check on Dizzle. Dizzle's doing all right. He's not reached out. I finally was able to talk to him. Said he broke his phone. Wasn't able to get a new one right yet, so he's waiting. Yeah, I'm not sure what all is going on with him, Chris. I wish him the best and hope that whatever he's going through, I've tried reaching out. I don't think he wants to talk about it though. So hopefully he's good. Hopefully everything's all right. He's just taking some time off of social media and stuff. But he does have a broken phone, so that makes it hard. My gray facial hairs put me in a rocking chair. Nah, I'm just uncle status now. I mean, I do listen to dad rock. That was something I heard the other day for all the people that grew up in the 90s. Like, I still love the 90s, like late 90s rock. And they said that's now dad rock because all those dads are old. I mean, I'm 40, so I'm an old dog now. Uncle Debo. Yep. Missing Dizzle as well. Dizzle needs to get his butt back in here. Yes, Ralph, thank you for always dropping that in here. Absolutely. Let's be sure to register, support the veterans. Absolutely. Is that 9? Ralph put it in here, 988 suicide hotline. Absolutely. That's one thing I am big on. Let's see. Looks like I'm getting ready for an organized live stream. I'm not organized yet unless I get the Excel spreadsheet out. Then you know it's about to get serious. What else we got for gear questions? MGL reels be standard. So you mean all of their reels to have MGL? They can't do that because they got to milk you for money out of non-MGL versus the MGL. Yeah, the MGLs are really good. That's kind of a sleeper reel. That's a good one to talk about. Somebody else was saying that earlier. I think, and this will kind of spoil because I'm going to do that video still, but I want to break all of them down in that one. I will say that I think the SLX MGL, especially when you can get them on sale, American Legacy is a great place for that. I bought mine used in like excellent condition or whatever, and they looked mint. Like there was nothing wrong with them. But this one, I can find it. Did I go over it? Yeah. So 150 normally, SLX MGL 70. Man, it will bomb lures. Good small profile on it, really palmable. It's actually my favorite SLX in their lineup. Just bought an LFS for your son to learn on. Absolutely, David. I think that's a great reel for somebody to get and use once they learn it. Let's see. People saying hi. Power rods. I used to use Powell back in the day. I was really impressed with Powell because I don't even remember how that happened. I got multiple rods. One of them broke like right away and something else happened. And I reached out to them and they're like, yeah, there's a known issue. And it was about the step down. I don't remember what they were at the time, endurance or I don't even remember, but they not only did they replace my 3 rods, 2 of them broke. They let me keep one, the one that was fine. The other ones, they just said, cut the things in half and send us a picture or whatever, which the tips were already broke. So I don't know what they thought I was going to do, but either way, then they sent me 3 brand new rods of the exact same in a step up. That's the way companies should take care of that stuff. I've talked about my experience with ARC and I'm not trying to crap on them. I know I bring it up a lot, but that's just one that's always stuck in my mind because rod tip, chewing up the line, told them about it. They knew about the problem, went back and forth on it, wouldn't send me new rods, but they sent me like 3 new tips and were like, here, you can replace the tips yourself, essentially. And we could send you a free shirt if you want. I'm like, no, I don't want your free shirt, but I will take the tips. So that's disappointing. They should have just made it right. Good budget kayak, Matt. I cannot help you there. I have not gotten into the kayak game. People are still asking me if I'm going to. Maybe. I don't have one in mind yet exactly, so we'll see. Who knows? Extreme. What's up? What would you use in a pond that has lots of grass and a max depth of 6 to 8 feet? Depends what you're talking about. If you hit that pond early in the year, it's going to be clear around the banks. You're not going to have all the big weeds. I don't know if it has all the weeds that grow up around it and stuff. But all that won't be there in spring. Also, most of that grass and stuff will be died off as well. So you can hit more of the lake. That's a really good time to go through and see the spots where there's any sort of structure, because the water is usually a little bit cleaner until we start getting into the storms and stuff, the winds that really kick it all up. But just coming out of winter early, usually stuff's pretty clear. You can find rocks, laydowns, drop-offs and stuff when it's real clear before it gets all dirtied up and the grass and stuff gets in there. But I would say just scout it out, especially early. Once it gets into late spring and summer, when all that vegetation does come up, I look for vegetation lines anywhere you can find a hard line. And I don't mean up on top of the water, like even down under, if you can see it and get to it. Those lines, the bass will just patrol those lines like it's a hard wall, really. Any sort of indentations or things that stick out, any irregularities, focus on those, and fish over it. I mean, trying to put a Senko on top of it for any fish that are laying in there. If you've got grass that doesn't come all the way up. If it comes all the way up, frog. Even if you're not catching them, throw a frog, because it's always fun. Let's see. Good evening, David. Good evening, Scott, Jermaine, saying hi to everybody. Oh my God. My buddy Tim with another $5 bomb. Timmy, I'll have to get you a special present. Appreciate you, feller. Suggestion. How about an instruction video for glass crankbait rods? Maybe Hellabass was right. I'm not sure what you mean by that. What question, what instruction would you need for it? Or do you mean like when to use them? Like when I look at them? A couple that grab me off the tip of my tongue is there's some people that will argue night and day for using a glass rod for chatterbaits, like a moderate fast glass. Their argument to it is that chatterbaits get eaten from behind. So chatterbaits going through the water, fish almost always come up behind it and grab it, they say. So having that slight delay with the glass where it's not as sensitive and it can really start to bend over. So you've got the rod really starting to bend, and then you feel the weight and you can pull into it. Supposedly you're not setting the hook as fast as you would on, like, let's say you're using just a regular medium heavy fast action rod, dime a dozen, get them anywhere. Supposedly that's the big deal over those. I've not put enough time in with either, but I will say for most of my moving baits, I do like a more of a moderate fast action, not necessarily glass, and that's for any of them. When it's a moving bait, I like to have a little bit of give to it for that reason. So when they bite it, you start to see your rod. Oh, then you feel the weight and you can pull into them, versus like a jig or a Texas rig, something I'm fishing on the bottom. That can definitely be stiffer because I'm waiting. I want to feel everything that's on there. As soon as I get that bite, I'm feeling it and waiting for it. I can feel that tick, 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 and then I can set really hard. So that's kind of my thought between the two. But hey, I'm not an Elite Series pro. I'm not winning $100,000 tournaments, so take that for what it's worth. Oh, Blind Eye, good to hear. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, the Inception. Yeah, that was the one in the middle. And did they redo that one? I think they might have redone that one and then came out with the oh no, maybe that's what they did. They switched it up. It was the new Inception. They switched up to we can look here, oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. G-Man, the G-Man series. Beef says, I've got 3 of the Origin Cs. They seem pretty solid. Internal brakes. Yeah, they do have the internal brakes. That's one thing that I don't like about the 13 is that they bumped, not that they bumped up. I don't know why I said that they switched the brake pads, the little things that go inside. I should have got a bunch of reels here to show you, but when you pop open the 13 reel, it's got a little dial in there. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can click it. And that is how many of those little pads will come out because it's a centrifugal brake. So as you spin it, as that spool is spinning really fast, the brakes come out and hit the race. They changed the material in it, and like I have to bump mine up almost to like 5.6 on the, Concept A and the Z slide two of the hardest reels to get dialed in when I first bought them. It was pretty frustrating. And then I was like, do I just have to crank this all the way up? And I did. And they work great now. But I was talking to Tackle Junkie, and he said that I think he was talking to Fluke Master or something, because I think he works for him. But said they did something to change the brake material or something. So it must have make it more slicker so it holds up better or something. But yeah, it messed with the brakes. Let's look real quick at, because yeah, 13 is kind of one of those that goes under the radar. People kind of talk crap about it, but did I click reels? Casting reels. Yeah, I like them. I've had really good luck. I haven't had any poop out on me or anything. So yeah, the 13A2, that's the new one I was talking about. Really like it. They're palmable. The only thing that I will say about, and it's the new body frame style, I didn't notice it on the old one, so I don't know if they changed it. See this piece here that kind of juts out in the back? It digs right into the heel of my hand, like in my thumb, like right here. And you can see after I've been using it for a while, it's all red. So I've had to adjust my grip and put my hand back farther so it fits in the crease of my thumb when I hold it. I don't like that because I don't have to get your words, Debo. I don't like having to switch up grips and like how I hold the reel based on a brand. I just want to pick it up and have each one feel the same. But the reels themselves are awesome. Can't complain. Yeah, the Inception G2. So that's the new Inception that they did. They bumped it up, and that's the G-Man series, the Meta or whatever they call it, I think. Right? Isn't this the Meta, whatever? Is that just the rods? Oh, the Metas just must be the rods that go with it. Yeah, aluminum frame. I do really like their beetle wing side plate so it can't fall off. I haven't used any of these yet. I know Randizzle has the rod he's really liked. But $150 for the rod and reel. That was a question I posed a while back. You know, could pros make a complete living fishing only $200 or $300 combos? And it's funny because a lot of people laugh like, oh, is this even a question? Is this serious? This is dumb. Okay, well, if that's the case, why do companies make more expensive? Or why do you see most of the pros using more expensive gear? Like Jordan Lee, for example, his the Jordan Lee line of bait casters, it's okay. I mean, it's a $109 reel, not an aluminum frame. I like the grips on it. Nothing special about it. And you'll see him using like one of those and then the more expensive Abus for a bunch of the other stuff. So it's like I always kind of chuckle, you know, when the pros have their thing come out. But it's good for them. Hopefully he gets, you know, a cut of the money for people that like it. And that's how they got to pay bills, man. It's a whole different dog in the fight when you're making a living feeding your family and children off of, you know, fishing tournaments and stuff. That'd be very anxiety driven for me. Ooh, speaking of deals, yeah, if you all have a Fleet Farm or what's the other one? Fleet Farm or Mills Fleet Farm or Blaine's Farm and Fleet. That's what we have. They have good sales. Yeah, Chris got a good deal there on the Tatula LT. Oh, man, Art, I wish I could help you there. I've not played enough with, I'm not a big electronics guy. I've got one on my jumbo, and I couldn't even tell you what it is. I bumped up to one with side scan or side imaging and down scan on whatever all that is, and I'm still trying to figure out how to get all that dialed in. Yeah, for $120, they were underrated. Yeah, they were solid reels. I have a Mach 1 spinning combo, and it's awful. Yeah, I think I actually have the Mach 1. Is that the black and green one? And it was okay. I didn't mind it. I mean, it wasn't, you know, they're not made to be the most expensive or anything, but it was okay. I didn't feel like the spinning one was as overpriced as the bait caster. Maybe it was. Maybe I got it on sale or something cheap. I don't remember. I think I've got one back there somewhere. I got just the reel. That's what it was. They had the reel like 50% off because I put it on the 13 green rod because they were both that bright green. But I didn't have any issues with it. Some of the more expensive Lew's spinning reels, I don't like. I don't think they feel good. I had the $100 and something one, and I'd rather use my little $50 neck save from Shimano. BB1 Pro, I liked it. Yeah, the BB1s are great reels. The old BB1 Tournament Pro, I think it was called, was my favorite reel for a long time. That was like my first like expensive reel, and I want to say I even got it on sale at the time then, but it was like maybe 150 or something. I think it was like a $200 reel, and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing's amazing. You could bomb lures on that thing. Let's see. No. Lots of people talking about 13. Sportsman's Warehouse has TFO rods for 50% off. That's a good deal. I tried to share the deal when they had the real. That was another thing that was dumb. Tackle Warehouse, instead of doing like the month long or whatever all that was, they would do a certain deal for a week. Then if you missed it, tough luck. It was on to the next deal. So I didn't like that. But yeah, TFO rods are great. I've used a couple of them. Speaking of, I actually have the one that is a glass composite that I use for crank or chatterbaits, spinnerbaits. Really, really liked it. It's heavier. That's one thing you have to know is if you get into, did I say graphite? I'm sorry, glass is what I meant. That's one thing you have to know. If you start getting into glass rods, the blank's going to be bigger around because of the way the material is. They're usually going to be a little bit heavier. But I kind of chuckle like when we're talking about a few ounces and people say, man, it can make a difference. I get it. But fish a muskie combo or like a heavy pike combo for a day and then switch to any bass combo and you're like, this feels like a child's toy. So some people, might need to, if they have, some sort of physical disability where, getting it as light as possible so they can fish it all day. But sometimes, when you're only cutting hairs here over an ounce or half an ounce or whatever it is, sometimes I think we put too much thought into it. Mr. Pedraza, I've been trying to describe for a little bit users on the I bet it's because, I can't even, not even super chats. One thing I will say is I've had a number of people ask me about becoming a member lately. There should be a join button on this live or any of my videos. However, YouTube has said that they have an issue with it on phones. So if you're trying to do it from a phone, you might not even see the button down there. You might have to go like a tablet or a PC, which is stupid. But yeah, that's apparently been an issue. If you try to do the join membership thing from your phone, it's not there. It's gone. Missing. Yep. Lose mock reels are all graphite. That's why I don't understand why they're $160. Mach 2 baitcaster for $79. They're not $79. Did I read that right? What's your opinion on a Mach 2 baitcaster for $79? I think that's where they should be. If that's what you're asking, what would my opinion be if they were that price? I think that's what they should be. Is they should be a sub, maybe at most 100, but I'd still take the LFS even over those at 100. But what was I doing here? Oh yeah, going to lose. Maybe I missed it. Maybe they were on sale. Didn't I just look at that and they weren't on sale? Am I losing it here? I don't even know where I'm at. Yeah. Oh, that was the Mach Crush. Mach 2. What's the Mach 2? I'm drawing a blank. Talking about these? Yeah, that's another one that doesn't make sense. Pretty sure these are graphite as well. Go with the LFS, $100. Why am I paying an extra? What is this? Why am I paying an extra $30 for this one? One-piece graphite frame and side plates. Multi-setting brake. MSB brakes are those. I think that's just the single brakes, right? Yeah, why the hell is this one $30 more? I don't know, but I know like the Mocs, they've said before that they charge more for these, like the Crush, because it's got those dual brakes. I forget what they call that on this one. Oh, that must be what it is. The multi-setting brake is what. So this one has magnetic on the outside, the dial here. And then when you open it inside, it's got the centrifugal brakes that you have to do manually. You have to like click the little pins like an old Shimano, like the little hats kind of. And they're good reels. They cast really well. It's just I think they're overpriced. So enough bash and poor lose. I like lose, but I don't get some of the pricing on some of them. I'll have to. Somebody just shared, I think it was Rob Harrison shared picture that he got one. I didn't know they were for sale yet. I've not kept up on that. Yeah, I need to buy one and support those guys. I probably will do that soon. Not going to be any fishing for me for a while. I don't even know if I'm going to get any damn ice fishing this year. And I was again excited for ice fishing this year. don't know if we're going to get safe ice. Oh, Jermaine, good call. Yeah, so he got the Champion 736 glass. Best investment made me understand how much the mod part of the rod is important when loading up. Yep. I agree, man. I agree. And a lot of it, you have to remember the rod reel. Well, I guess not really the reel, but the rod and the line are a system, right? So you might have a little bit more stiffer rod, and you're like, man, I'm losing fish. I feel like they're jumping off. That might be the time you go over to a mono on that one. Mono's got more stretch to it. So even though your rod's a little bit more stiff, that line's absorbing some of that, as you're setting the hook, your rod might only be like this, but that mono's got give to it. So you can kind of play with those. You have a really stiff rod, you put braid on it, it's not going to have much give to it at all anywhere in there. Sometimes you want that. I like more of that, more of a moderate fast to a fast for frogging, just because I'm trying to hit him as hard as I can and get him out of that, to me, as quick as I can. I don't want them getting down in that crap and losing them. But that's just me. It's just kind of for everybody, is a little bit different. So venturing into the BFS, man, Mike, I am not huge into BFS stuff. I have I think it's the SLX BFS that I picked up, and it's fun. I was throwing, I think, an 1/8 and a 16th ounce inline spinner. It's cool, but I would rather just grab my ultralight and go to work that way. So I don't know. Messing with, because I think I put 4-pound line on that ultralight. It just makes me really nervous. I get really nervous with that really light line and stuff. I hate losing fish. I hate not losing fish. I hate breaking off on fish. I normally tend to go a little bit heavier than I should, but what's the best bait caster combo between $100 and $150? So I will say a couple of my favorite budget rods, and it really depends on what you're looking for, like what kind of combo it is. But I would say some of my favorite budget rods are the Shimano. What is it? Cellus? Is it the Cellus rods? Yeah. Shimano Cellus rod's a great rod, $49 to $59. There's the Daiwa Iridex, which is another, I want to say, $50-ish. Going back a lot here. What's the other one? Oh, the ARC Catalyzer. I just shared that. ARC's website. I don't know if they still have it. I can check here real quick. But you had to go to the ARC website, and they had buy 3 of the catalyzers for $99. So at $33 for one of those rods, that's a steal. They are very, very good budget rods. Yeah, they do still have that. 3 for $99 or 4 for $120, and then they've got the Vipers, buy one get one free. I don't know. I think they changed the Viper. Before it had micro guides. I'm just honestly not a big fan of the micro, because theirs are like super, super tiny micro. But Catalyzer is a great little rod. 36-ton blank. I think it definitely fishes above its price range. So yeah, those would be my pick for rods. So those are all about the $50 price range. Then you can spend $100 on a reel. So you're looking SLX, LFS. The Fuego is kind of a weird one. Daiwa kind of went weird in their budget lineup. So if we go back to them and go into, reels, they came out with this whole line of these where I think they were trying to compete with, some of the other companies at this price range. The CA80, there was like the CR80, CC, like all these different reels. Yeah, CR, like all the, I don't understand why they did that. Like at each little different price range, see like $10 increments. And then this one, I would have rather seen them do something to make the Fuego, like the Fuego's bumped up. It used to be a 99. That's bumped up $20. And I really like the reel. But I don't know, I'm sure it's pricing stuff for them, materials and shipping, just shipping stuff over is stupid expensive now on those shipping containers. But like what is the Tattooeless CT? That one used to be $120 reel. That's $150. I was getting these. Sportsman's Warehouse had the Tattoola 100, 150, and 200 on sale there for like 110. I think they were. I think some of them were $99. Maybe it was the 100 was 110, and then the Tattoola 200 and 300 I think were at $99. So you just kind of have to shop around, because You can, or I'm sorry, not the 200, the 300. If I said that, the 150 and the 200 is what I meant. But anyway, what I'm trying to get to is you have to shop around, try to find good deals. But if I were to say right now, like $150-ish, like if we're not talking sale, probably lose LFS with one of those rods that I said. But if you can find them on sale, lots of choices when you find the good sale stuff. Did I go backwards here in time? What's happening? Did it switch back? Listening and installing. Oh, the DeBurley hype man. Hopefully your knee's doing well, man. He's listening and installing a new Garmin on his yak. JP, I agree. Flukes always have bent tails. Dude, it pisses me off when I pull one out and it's all wonky, bent over in half. And I'm like, seriously. Yeah, I used to, but for backpack, bank fishing and stuff, it's just not practical for me. I have to keep them in the little bags. Just don't have enough room in a backpack. Here, Parker. Good quote. Let's see. Just about to order spinner. I'm getting the Daiwa Iridex. Should I grab a medium light or a medium? I fish ponds and high school tournaments once a month. That's one thing I will say. Good question on that. The Iridex runs soft, so I got the medium, and it feels pretty soft. I was like, am I going to break this damn thing? Never had any issues with it. Hank Baskik, I was talking to him. He agrees it's one of his favorite budget rods, and he got the medium heavy, and he's like, yeah, it is soft. So that line does tend to be soft. I would go with a medium on that, because then you can throw Ned rigs, you can throw any of your normal stuff on a spinning setup. Medium light might just be a little bit too soft for some of those. Let's see what else we got for a question. What else we got for gear questions? Would like to see more of the travel rods. Yeah, I personally don't like the 2-3 piece. For some people, I know it makes sense. It's just, for me, one more thing to have to worry about. I like the one piece, but if you have a small car or something, they're nice to have. And you can always have one no matter what you're doing, kind of, broke down and with you. Love to see a sub $200 Megabass. Man, Megabass is all about that expensive stuff. I don't get it. I've got some of the rods. I've used them, but man, their stuff is pricey. But again, that was American Legacy. And if y'all have never gone over there, I heard of them through Gramps. I'd never even heard of the place. He works with them. And it's cool because when you go to their setup, you can go to just like their normal stuff. And they don't have a ton of, they're getting more. They didn't have like a ton of brands and stuff, like kind of when they were first starting. They're slowly bringing them in. But for me, the thing that's really cool is when you go over here, and they might have some other good deals. Let me find, and we'll be doing a giveaway. What are we at for time? 43 minutes in here, and I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. We will do a giveaway. I'm going to go back behind me. I should have got it ready. See what type of gear I got. I want to try to give back. I've got more than I can use. So I want to give back, and we'll do a giveaway of gear. I can't give away rods. That kind of sucks because they cost $18 million to try to ship. Let's see. Okay, so the Crowd OK. Yeah, $129. Great deal if you want a Crowd OK. Extremely smooth reel. And they have some of the Fuegos 50% off. Oh, wow. That's actually a really good price. Do they have any? What size do they have left? Yeah, 4,000. No bueno there. Yeah, I'm sure those got picked over pretty quick. I think somebody did tell me about that. What do they have for the Ks? Nothing. Looks like they're out. Is that right? Am I looking at this correctly? Looks like they're all sold out. Well, they should take that down, damn it. But they do have, I thought they had some other deals here, maybe not. But when you go to their stuff, I always go to their used. Where is it? Oh, here. It's its own deal. Used. Then you can go to rods or reels, but like, let's just see what they've got here. And I always try to get the stuff that's in like excellent condition. Oh, wow. They look pretty picked over. Let's see. So there, for example, like the Nasis or Naski, however you say it. They have any 3,000s in there? 5,000? No, those are crappy sizes. But anyway, you get the idea. You can find some really good deals. So there's like a Tatula 80, 142. So not crazy good on that one, but still a good amount off. You don't have to wait for sales or anything. This is I think when Baxter, the bait man, was on, I think he was saying like when they go to shows and stuff, some of the ones that they have out there sometimes for displays just get put in here, or like overstock that they had instead of having to ship to send it back and stuff. I don't know where they get exactly all of them, but they're definitely not all actually used, because I've even got some that have said like mint condition with the tags on it for like, 40, $50 off. So like there's a Nasi. No, that's, but anyway, yeah, you get the idea. Let's see if they have, let's go just to casting and see if they have any of the SLXs. They usually have a good deal of the SLX stuff in here too, which is nice. So there, for example, mint condition SLX MGL 70, like we were just talking about, $100. Great deal. There's one right there in stock, $102, mint condition. And I guarantee it's a brand new reel. They get it from overstock somewhere, or, something, whatever they do. I don't know what the hell, how they do it all, but yeah, check them out. If you've never gone over there, American Legacy, use Gramps' code, give a little bit back to him. I don't think it works on all sale stuff. It might work on the used. I don't know, but I always just put it in no matter what I buy over there. Same for like Omnia, use Punch's code, or the Serious Angler Boys, Hella Bass. Not all the stuff works for the sales, but I always just put it in to make sure I'm, one, saving money, and two, helping support those guys. Diggs for the $10 bomb. Happy New Year's. Appreciate that, man. Better not chew ice on live here. The Rain series from St. Croix. I have not. I don't even know what that is. Thinking off the top of my head, the Rain series. I don't know. Happy New Year's, everyone. Happy New Year's. That's what Diggs just said. Happy New Year's to everybody. I appreciate that, man. Anybody that donates and members, I appreciate you all so much. I don't want it to sound fake, because it's one of those like, oh, I appreciate you guys. But seriously, I've been doing this for 7 years now. Somebody was just showing me old videos and like, damn, you've been doing this for this long, Debo? 7 years. And it's flown by. And again, I wouldn't be here. There's been multiple times I've been ready to be done. But, when people take time, who was it? Somebody that's buddies with William Critchley, who I talked to quite a bit. Was it David? No, not David. Who was it? Scott. And I don't know if he's on it. He sent his deal. I forget what his screen name is, but send a long email. I need to reply to some of these. But that means a lot. Like the number of people I've helped learn how to use a bait caster and teaching little tips and stuff too. It means a lot. I'm just some guy who fishes, so you all definitely keep me wanting to make more. Oh, there it is. 988 National Suicide Hotline. Thank you, Ralph. Obviously, I'm a bit behind here. Only a half hour behind in comments. I get beaten up when it's just me here. I can't watch all these. Ooh, good question, Lindsay. Has anybody tried the Revo SX SS, which just means it's the shallow spool? I have not. I'm not big on a lot of the shallow spool stuff. I will say Lou's had the pitch and flip one. And it is nice for that kind of stuff. But a lot of them, if you're looking at like casting light lures and light line, I think sometimes we put a little bit too much thought into that. I've not used it, but the new lineup, I need to do a review on those, because the new lineup of Abu reels, they made some really good improvements on them. Gramps just dropped some gifts in there. Gramps, thank you. Hickman Outdoors, appreciate you. Dropped some memberships. That is very nice of you, Gramps. Kylo the Collector. Should I get the Corrado M or the Tranks? I'm thinking back to some of the old Tackle Advisor videos, and I think the Tranks had like a seal, the extra seal. I forget what they call that for Shimano, and something else. Depends what you're doing. If you're just doing kind of everyday fishing, I think the Corrado M is the way to go. The Tranks, a little bit more heavy duty. It's got the supported bearing. I don't remember if the M does that. We can look here. I don't know why I'm guessing. What is it? The X ship bearing? Is that what they call it? The protected bearing? And I don't know if it's saltwater safe. I think that's another deal using the Tranks is, I want to say that one is saltwater safe. That might not be the case. I could be lying to you, but I've never used a Tranks. I've always just stuck with the Corrado line. Maybe chat can help you out too if folks have both of those. Let's see. What's going on? Come on, computer. I am sharing, right? Yes. So when we go to the Tranks, so I'm assuming you're talking about the Tranks 200, right? Oh, the Tranks 150. Maybe that's the one he said, because he did a breakdown on them. I love when he did those. He would tear the whole reel apart, look at them. I think the Tranks 150 was essentially a Corrado. He didn't see much of a difference. But I think the 200s are the one that have the, let's see here. Oh yeah, the core protect stuff. I think that's supposed to protect the bearings inside. I forget. I would have to go back and look on all these. But yeah, I think that's more of like the bad environment. It's got the sealed like protective bearings, whatever that stuff is and stuff. I just had a lot of end stuff and things and stuff, waterproof drag and stuff. So it depends on what you're doing, but I don't think you can go wrong with the Corrado. It's a really solid reel, super smooth. Hold up. Let's see. What's your favorite reels other than Lose and Daiwa? I wouldn't say those are my favorite reels either. I kind of use a little bit of everything I like. There's some in pretty much any line that I like or brand, and some that I don't really like. Daiwas, like I said, they're a little bit louder, not as smooth as the Shimano's. I really like the brakes. That's the biggest thing with me. They fit well in my hand. They have a little bit bigger frame, longer frame that I like. And I think the brakes, the braking system, the MagForce brakes can't be beat, in my opinion. Shimano's, I think, are the smoothest. A lot of those are really palmable. Lose, I think, fit palmability on the like the LFS line. Real small, real palmable. So there's kind of some that I like in each. What was fishing like in the old days? Nick, I'm glad you asked. We need to get my old man on here. He can share some stories. That would be a lot of fun. What was it like fishing in the old days? I don't know, Nick. What? I don't know. You're making fun of me because I'm an old man getting gray hair. For me, like the fun thing for me is like looking back on that stuff. Like I've told you all before, fishing with Dad and his buddies. We'd go out with Joe. Doing that stuff, watching those guys, learning from them. Dad would just kick my teeth in with a worm, tequila sunrise worm. I'd be dragged. I couldn't tell what the hell it was, if it was a bite or a branch. That's the biggest thing for me as I've, progressed in fishing, is back in the day, I would just start with stuff that I could cast and reel, so if you're just getting into fishing, and I don't know if you meant like me fishing in the old days versus now, or if you're talking about like gear and stuff versus now, but I'm going to answer it as if you're talking about me. A lot of cast and retrieve stuff, topwater poppers, walking baits, stuff where I could try different cadences, because, it wasn't like a certain action I was having to work. I mean, obviously you can use different speeds and stuff, but, a jig, after Dad would whoop my butt with worms, I got into the jig game, trying to figure that out. And it just takes a long time. That's something for me now, is looking back on that and just learning the patience of lures and knowing that every time you go out, you're not just going to blow it up on a lure. Right? It might be, you might have a great jig bite one day, next day, jig bite's not on at all. It might be a topwater bite or something. So talking gear, if we're saying what was fishing like in the old days versus now for gear, dude, it's night and day difference. Like, if you look at something from the early 90s versus now at $100, completely different. I mean, the handles, like I'll show you one of these. Speaking of my old man, hope I don't boon you. Sorry. Knocking stuff over. But you look at like one of these, it's the old Bantam. So the old Shimano or Corrado Bantam back in the day. Thumb bar, this was real popular. The thumb bar was up here. So instead of having it in the middle here, it was up here where you'd press it. Handles are tiny. If we're talking about DEBO finger length, that's barely at 3 inches. And the knobs, super tiny as well. And they're plastic. These are hard plastic knobs. This was the reel that my dad caught his PB on. Old crappy scale, 9 pounds. Oh, I remember the picture of that thing. Yes, he kept it and ate it, because that was what you did back in the day. But I remember that thing in the tub and it looked giant. So I would like to see on a big scale how close that was to a 10. But anyway, yeah, like the gear like this, does it work? Yeah, I've taken it out and used it. But I mean, rickety. Like there's, tolerances, fit, finish, feel. It's just they've come leaps and bounds, and companies started catching on to that. Going back to Luz and the LFS, they broke out on the market with that, and at $99, there wasn't many companies that were doing that. I'm not even going to say they might have been the company at $99. I don't think anybody could compete with them at that price. I'm trying to think back then. When did the LFS come out? Would that have been 2010? I want to say. When did the Luz LFS release? I want to say the LFS lineup came out 2010-ish. No, this is talking about the old gray LFS or Tournament Light. I don't know, chat, if somebody knows, but there was nobody that could compete really at that price. And that was when you really saw a, switch in the industry to some of those other companies, getting into that. SLX, the Fuego. I think the Fuego might have been shortly after, but it still wasn't quite there. Like the Fuego's kind of big for people. I like it. I like that fit, but where was I going with that? Gear. Yeah. So that compared to, something like that back in the day compared to now, completely different. I don't remember how much those were too. I want to say those were those might have been over $100, but yeah, you see a lot more of the high-end stuff, and just overall fit, feel, finish, what you get for your money is higher. But going back on that, this thing was a brick. Metal. It was all metal. The foot was metal. Everything was, aluminum and metal, made to last, except for, I guess, the plastic knobs. But, that's kind of the trade-off. You get into some of these materials that are lighter, cheaper. Graphite might not hold up as well, but I don't know. What do I know? I'm some idiot sitting in a dirty basement, can barely get back to his reels because it's so cluttered. Let's see. Yes, yeah. Zillion for $199. Was it on there for sale? That's a great price if they had a Zillion for $199. Question: what's your favorite reel and what is your second favorite? Well, most people probably know, speaking of the Zillion's hand down. If I could only have one reel, I had to use only one on all my combos, it'd be the Zillion. If we're not talking money, can't afford to have 10 Zillions on the lineup. But if we're not talking money, hands down that one. My second favorite reel, I guess it would depend, like, what am I using it for? And are we talking I'm buying it? Like, I'm going to go out and buy multiple of these for second, third, fourth. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd have to think on that. Good question. The Daiwa Tatula 150, I think, is a great workhorse. Do it all at like $160 now. Again, they just fit my hand really well. I think the brakes on those are the best. It's really hard to argue against that SLX MGL. I think that really is a sleeper reel. And like you saw on American Legacy, you can find $100. Watch out for those deals. If we're getting into the Luz category, yeah, I'm kind of a broken record here. The LFS has been a great reel. I really do like the custom, kind of a sleeper reel too, because you used to be able to get these for like $115 or something like that. They're let me share here. 2 years ago, so not this year, so that would have been 2022. That made my best of list. It wasn't anything special. It's not flashy. They don't really advertise it. I'm not sure where it like fits in their lineup, what the deal is with it, but it's the Luz Custom SLP. $179. It's got the LFS frame to it. Let's see. Well, they have the what? It's not the actual LFS frame, because I think there's a slight difference on what is it? LFS is the lighter, faster, stronger versus the Luz Custom SLP. I forget. I think there's a slight difference on, but anyway, still super small in hand. Aluminum frame. It's got the P2 supported pinion gear. I broke that down and showed that in the new LFS, which again, so there's a perfect thing to talk about. Lose putting that. So the supported pinion gear, your pinion that runs on your, I don't have a good reel to show you. Take a reel if you've got like a kind of a cheapy one that you feel like doesn't feel really good, because I don't want you to do it to a good one or a new one. Actually, don't do this at all. I didn't tell you to do this. I've tried it on some of the cheaper ones, like let's say the LFS Smash, that mock Smash, which I gave that one away. If you'd be reeling fast and stop, you hear it keep going, go, and the spool, the pinion, this is going to be really hard to show on here. The pinion sits in, so this is your pinion gear, which grabs your main gear as it's turning. Their spool, so when you take your side plate off and you pull your spool out, the long piece of the spool fits inside of that pinion. And what happens is that can rock around and move around in there. With the bearing around it, there's a hole just big enough for the bearing so it all fits tight, and the pinion slides right in that, so it makes it super rigid. That was something they did to update the LFS at $99. So you get better feel out of it, better. What's the word I'm trying to think of here? Like if you're real fast, I guess it would just be under fit and finish. Real fast, some of them, kind of get that click or they'll slip out. Even if you're just reeling a reel real quick, they'll kind of slip and go, you'll hear that ticking. Great way for companies to put that kind of stuff in the more budget price stuff. But anyway, this reel, this was probably my favorite Lose minus that one, just because it was so easy to use. I mean, it casts extremely well. And like I said, there's nothing fancy about it. It's not like anything flashy. I do like that it's just all black and gray. But there it is. That one really, really liked. Oh, SLP is the super low profile. I just now thought of that. And there is just a slight difference in the feel. So the lighter, faster, stronger LFS versus the super low profile. They're just really palmable. That's what I like about the Lose. Like anything where I'm flipping and pitching, I do kind of gravitate towards that. There was another one that I think kind of gets left in the dust. And maybe it's a little overpriced, but it's a really good reel. And again, you used to be able to find these on sale all the time too, is this one. Tournament Pro LFS at $199. Maybe a little overpriced. I don't know, but super good feel in hand. And I used to use that for Texas Rig. Feels really good. And I will say, I did pick on Lose that I said it was stupid that they put this thing up here. It's just a money grab. Like, who's going to use this? This little thing flips down. You can hook your bait to it. Yeah, I ate my words on that. I actually do use that a lot because I have a bad habit of hooking my bait to the front of the reel. And you can accidentally gouge your line guide or touch your line, and stuff where, it might fray it. So that little piece that pops out there actually is kind of handy. But yeah, this is another reel, and it's got the line indicator thing. This is, it doesn't show you that side of it. It's got the line indicator deal here inside the spool tension knob. There's a little knob in there you can turn to mark what size line you've got on. So little things like that, when you get into some of the more expensive reels. Do you need it? Does it do anything? No. But some of them are kind of nice to have there. Ooh, I find the JDM Zillion feels more refined than the North American Zillion. The only difference between the North American and the JDM, which one is it? I forget which is which. One has aluminum parts inside, so the aluminum main gear, and I think there was another gear that they switched out, versus the other is all brass. I think the American has brass, and it's a little bit heavier. So I couldn't tell you in smoothness, but that's interesting that you say that, Jason. Justin says his favorite's the Metanium. Yeah, a lot of people like the Metanium. I wasn't super big on it. I didn't feel for the price. I don't know. Smoothness, don't get me wrong. Smoothness, that and the Bantam, probably the smoothest reels that I have. Better than my Zillion, like smoother than the Zillion. But yeah, something about I really like the Bantam just for a flip and pitch reel. Small. Gramps brought up like on the Bantam I've got, because I've been looking back here at this. This I bought from Oklahoma's Worst Angler. Sold me his lefty reel for a good price. He was selling off some old stuff, but this is the Zillion that we've been talking about. This one he already put Gamex's handles and stuff on it. But what was I just saying? I just completely lost my train of thought again. The Bantam. So yeah, the thumb bar, which I do notice, it doesn't hurt my fingers or anything, but like Gramps said, I've kind of got long, skinny fingers. But he said his thumb kind of rubs on a piece there and hurts on the Bantam. So that's another thing too to keep in mind with some of these, exactly how your hand might fit. And it could be $1,000 reel and have all the bells and whistles. If you put it in your hand and it's uncomfortable, I guarantee you're going to go back to other stuff that feels better in your hand. So that's all I'd say about that. Is there a noticeable difference between us and JDM? Yeah, it really depends. So when you're looking at some of the JDM stuff, they do differ a little bit. It can be parts, can be material. Some of them are just actually like a little bit different reel, and some of them the only difference is they have specific reels that they make for our market versus theirs. So like you might see a JDM reel, like the Scorpion, for example. Scorpion's not an American market reel. You can only get it as a JDM. But I mean, you're looking at it compared to like a Corrado, kind of essentially. It's not at that price. So at that price, it would probably be, some of my Shimano guys will know better, but just kind of saying there's some things they have for some versus others. Whereas like the Zillion, there is a JDM version of it, and then also the exact same reel in the American market, but it's just some parts that are different here and there. I'm not a huge JDM guy, so I can't tell you all about that. I've kind of dipped my toes a little bit. Shout out from VA. What's up, my friend? Thank you. Yeah, Gramps has talked about that a lot too. The different chatterbait rods. He actually got us one from Brent too. I did on that video. Got a tack to him. Let's see. Mike, when casting not sure, was there a question here? He said, I don't know. That would be a good question for Debo. The JDM Zillion has a clicking noise. Can't find anyone to fix it. Perhaps it could be the same issue that I've got with my Tatula 70 that I also cannot fix. I think the last part I need to do, because they put in aftermarket bearings. I don't know if they jack something up in them or if it's one of the bearings is not good. That's the last thing I need to do. So usually when there's a ticking sound, the two things that I test when I'm trying to differentiate if it's like a casting thing or if it's something internally, tape your spool, or I guess really, like if I'm just sitting here playing with it, this is what I'll do. But if you're out and you only hear the noise when it casts, there's only a few things in your reel that actually move while you're casting. The main gear is not engaged. The pinion isn't touching it. So it's got to be something bearing or something where the spool is rubbing. Once you actually engage it and start turning it, and then you start noticing clicks and different sounds, then it's going to be a different part because the main gear's engaged. It's it's pushing against the pinion. But that's one thing I always do: either spin the spool. Okay, do I hear a sound there? Okay, it could be a bearing, or it could be something that the spool shaft is rubbing on. Might need some oil. Clicking, it could be a pinion gear, or I'm sorry, not a pinion gear, worm gear. You could have something up here if you only notice one side of it where it goes. Like when it gets to the left side or right side, it could be a broke tooth, chipped tooth. You could have a chipped main gear. If you notice when you're reeling, could be a chip on the main gear. Number of things, but that's how I try to break it down. Is it clicking only when you reel it or when you cast? But it could be a lot of things. I mean, might have got a piece of sand in there. It only takes a couple grains of sand. Could be dry. Who knows? Yeah, Gramps is a good spot to go to. He definitely does test all the. Well, speaking of, with him with American Legacy, that's a cool thing. He can, trade him in, switch them, try out all the different rods. So yeah, he's a good spot to go to if you have questions on the chatterbait. He does tend to fish that a lot. Gramps, would you say you've caught as many fish on a chatterbait as you have a frog? Just wondering. I can't remember if you fish it or not. That's a joke. Sorry, Gramps. Let's see. Ooh, Field and Stream / Dick's has 13 fishing clearance in store. A2 and a Z2 for 115. Holy crap. That's a really good deal. Have the brakes on the C's pretty much maxed as well. Yeah, 13. I don't know what they did with that material, but you have to have them cranked. For me anyway. Maybe I just suck, but let's see. People talking back and forth on gear. Yeah, the J Lee combo is pretty much a silver max. Here's my thought on the Abu line. Really like the reels. I like what they did to it. But again, once they start getting into like some of those certain price points, whoops, there we go. Some of those certain price points, I scratch my head. Like my thought would be, here's how I would break it down. Basically, I could run Abu Garcia. That's how much I know about all this stuff. I'm joking. But my opinion would be, I don't want to make it sound like I know everything. But like when I look at this, like when you start getting into the different prices of reels, so they've got the J Lee reel for 100 or 110. You can step down to the Pro Max for 89. They've got the S Max STX 79. Max X for 59. You know, it's like these little 10, 15, $20 increments. It's like clean up the lineup. You don't need all those, in my opinion. Things like, whoops, that's not the old one. I was saying, do they have the old Revo X? But in my line, you could certainly cut some of those out. Speaking of budget reels, especially when you can get this one on sale, awesome budget reel. I think you could skip the line and go 59 to like even 79. I think you get away with this, selling this one for 79, because this is a graphite frame, graphite, side plates, but it's still a good reel. I tested this one out this year. Actually, do I have that on? I do. I was just messing with tying lures on. Oh, almost broke the tip. Yeah, that's the one I had on this. Y'all saw me fish this a few different times this year, talking about it. Good little reel. So I would go to that. And then, well, actually going back to the $99 reels, they used to have the $99, what was it? Revo X, aluminum frame, great reel. That one now is like this one they could get rid of. I know they have to do that for the Jordan Lee thing and all that, which is cool. Like I said, he needs to get his own. He needs to eat too. But where is it? The new Revo X, $120. It's a graphite frame. So yeah, I don't know. Some of that stuff I'm sure they have to do for marketing, having different price points to sell. But I would definitely skip the new Revo X. I don't like it at all. I mean, it's good. I don't want to say that it's a good reel, but for the price of of a graphite frame, graphite. Oh, sorry, C6 carbon. Which would be interesting to see them do some strength tests to some of those. Because people have talked about like the C6, there's Luz has one that's like a C46 something side plate that they tote. But seeing some of the actual strength differences in these, because there was, some big thing, I forget who it was on YouTube talking about, aluminum frames are a thing of the past. These carbons and stuff are exactly as strong. You don't have to worry about, this, that, and the other. Well, my question would be then why, when you get into the more expensive reels, are they mostly always aluminum, right? Or you can get magnesium, which is even more expensive, some of these different alloys, but I would skip that one. I think their flagship reel right now is going to be the SX. It did go up a little bit in price, but it is an awesome reel. I love the larger handle, the actual handle. The knobs are bigger. Fit in hand is awesome. This kind of piece, where you set your finger kind of turns over. Does it show a top? Yeah, right there. So they kind of fix that. So it kind of contours to your finger, how you'd hold it like that. Notice your finger isn't straight. Your finger kind of does that, on its own. So I think this is the reel to buy if you're looking at the new Abus. I really, really like this one. They cast super easy. So yeah, there's just some things in the, the price points and stuff that don't make sense to me. But again, what do I know? I'm just a guy in his basement. So I know they have reasons for doing this, that, and the other. Let's see. What are we going to do for a giveaway? We're at an hour 15. Do I have any sort of gear in boxes? I should have got now. See, this is the part of doing this alone. I'm going to be up rummaging for gear. I'll have to find something here. Love Fleet Farm. Yeah, they have some really good sales. Let's see. People talking about some Luz questions. No. Gramps, hold your tongue to that baloney. Oh, that would be cool. What's her name went there? What is her name? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. The one gal that was really good last year played for South Carolina. That'd be cool. Be somewhat close. Questions on that. People talking back and forth about that. Oh, Art, good call. Not every TFO rod is 50% off on that site. Yeah, I got to watch that. Colin, yes. Caitlin Clark can make shots from neighboring zip codes. Yeah, she is unbelievable, man. Absolutely unbelievable girl to watch. Victor, fishing for muskie will put hair on your chest. Yes. Just like eating peas back in the day. Fishing for muskie will make you appreciate gear weight a lot. That's the price I play when I have MGL 70. I can cast small cranks on. Yeah, dude, casting little quarter ounce cranks on that thing, it's an awesome reel. A little bit slept on. People talking about Gramps is talking about some mega bass rods and stuff. Oh, speaking of Gramps again, he agrees. Yep, it's a great little reel. What are your thoughts on Abu? Oh, I just gave some of that awesome Aussie cat. Some of the prices don't make sense to me and some of the reels in the lineup, but I think they do have some darn good reels now. Good revamp. What are we going to do for a giveaway too? I got to thumbs are on point. We must have a bunch of good thumbs up. Thank you all for supporting. If you like the stuff, give it a thumbs up, comment something, to help the deal. It's all free. Algorithms and artificial intelligence sees me sitting here and they're like, this guy is dumb. But if you thumb up and comment, maybe we'll promote him. Yeah, Carl, good call. Yeah, the Fritz crankbait rod, that's the green one. And again, it's thicker. It's a glass rod. It might be a composite mix of both. But yeah, good rod for the price. They used to have those on sale at, where did I get mine? I don't remember, somewhere snagged it on sale. Yeah, for like your 6-foot divers and stuff. Yeah, it's a great rod for that. People talking more about mega bass rods and stuff. Celis, yeah, Parker, I agree. The Celis is a great rod. Yep, people how far behind am I? Oh my gosh, I'm at 8:13. Good Lord. Y'all absolutely kick me in the gonads in comments. I need to figure out, what am I giving away tonight? What shall I give away here? I don't know what I have left in the box. What do we got? What do we got, folks? I'm going to skip ahead. I know. I'm sorry. I hate doing this, skipping this far ahead. I'm just going to tell you now, if you had a question or comment or something that you want me to see, put question in front of it now because I'm skipping ahead. I'm so sorry, but I'm just way too far behind. We're at an hour 17. My gosh. Mike Christian, hold your tongue. Be telling me to give away that. I did give away one of my MGLs. I had 2, Andy. I gave away one. I can't give away my other one. I want to keep that because I need to do some 3 zillion giveaways. Listen, I'm not giving away my zillion. I did give away, y'all have heard the story. I bought a zillion. The company sent me 2. I only bought 1. Felt bad about it. Ended up giving 1 away. The whole karma thing. Finally got my hands on another one from Oklahoma's Worst. So I'm not giving away. Jason, what reel oil do I use? I actually am kind of a cheapskate and just use the reel oils I have. Some of the loose ones that came in the box, and then the Shimano Bantam oil that came with, which one was it? I don't know, a couple of them. Anyway, that's what I use. If you're going to go out and buy a new one, you don't have any of those. I do not like the real butter. I know that's an oil or a grease, but didn't like their stuff at all. If you're going to use grease, I would recommend going, let's see, can I just type? The Shimano drag grease. That's only $5.99. I thought it was way more than that. Dude, this thing will last you forever. Do I have it here? No, I don't. That's what I use to grease, not just drag grease, but my gears and everything works great. I love it. And a lot of people are saying, and I haven't tried them yet, so take this for granted, or take it for a grain of salt, whatever they say. I didn't like the Abu Garcia real grease. Some people like it and say it makes no difference. I think Rand Dizzle got this kit, but the kit's actually pretty damn cool because it comes with all your stuff. I think he said he liked it. He didn't have an issue with it. I felt the grease was a little too thin. It wasn't sticky enough, I guess. But I've heard a lot of people saying good stuff about this. Do they have just a regular? Yeah, so the real oil here from Luz. This little oil applicator is awesome. Brando has this on his boat. Anytime you got a little bit of squeak or anything, it's got the little needle applicator. I know a lot of people like the Daiwa Space Age grease and the cool little applicator deal. And what was the other? I haven't. Oh God, what was it? There was an old oil. I forget what it is. It doesn't have a nice applicator. It's got like a plastic thing. That's not any of these. God, what was it? Cal. Yeah, you can use the Cals too. A lot of people like the Cals grease. God dang, what is that oil? You could use Pew Pew oil if you've got, Pew Pew at home for shooting. The thing, I don't like recommending other ones because I don't know like the exact viscosity. You don't want something that's too thick on moving parts and stuff, right? So I would say err on the side of just buy one of these. Like they don't cost much, $10 is going to last you for frickin' ever. So that's, because I've had people ask me, can you use olive oil? Can you use WD-40? Like, no, that's not a lubricant. That's a degreaser. Like, just buy one of the, people that seem like they always want to use baby. Somebody was asking me to use baby oil. I'm like, maybe you could. I don't know. Never tried baby oil on my reels, but yeah, just buy one of these. But heard a lot of people say good stuff about the Luz. But yeah, for grease, I would just buy this, last you forever, and then find a good oil. Oil I'm not as picky on because, you put a little oil on it, it dries out. But the thing with the real butter, the Abu, they just felt too thin when you'd grease up your main gear and stuff. They would just be like, you could still hear the through it, like, metal hitting metal. So hopefully that helps. We talked a long time about grease and oil there. I feel like I rambled. Okay, let's see. I'm already behind again. Lucas Oil. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that Lucas Oil, the Luz stuff is really good. I haven't got to use it though. They make a line conditioner too. I love line conditioner when I spool up. Works great. Cast it, that first day, like, oh, this feels great. I never ever apply it again. I never remember. So I'm horrible at that. Hey, Patrick in the house. Smithwick Rogue said of the new FX series is still on the table. Yes, I didn't. He said he offered that last time. Absolutely. We'll throw it on here. So we'll do a reel. I'm going to look here in a second. Maybe I'll do I can't really do a poll because I'm still going to have to. Okay, so winner tonight is reel. Oh, that is about dead. Reel plus was the FX Rogue series? Yeah, FX Rogue series. Okay, so we're gonna do a big old giveaway tonight. You're getting the New Year's special here, a reel and some jerk baits. Ooh, EWG Neds for the giveaway. I need to get my butt out there. I already owe some to Dustin. He's on the list here, and I just need to make more because I'm almost out for myself. Crisco. Yeah, hey, hell, try it. If it doesn't work, you can scrape it off there and bake a cake later. Let's see. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go look and see what I have in boxes still. I think I've got a couple reels that actually, you know what? That's what we were just talking about. I feel like a prick because I've never even used it, and I talk about, oh, I'm trying to say there was, what was it, I think the end of 2022 it came out. It's gonna be am I sharing here? Yeah. It's going to be the Luz BB1. I've got the brand new BB1, the new one. Haven't even got to use it. So I feel like a jerk. They have these on sale now for $150. Great reel. Well, I should say the old ones were really good. I haven't even got to use this one yet, but it feels good. I'll go grab it here in a second. So I'm giving that away. We'll do that with a lineup of the FX Rogues. You should be set because I don't remember if it's a righty or a lefty. And I'm not going to pick between the two and buy a new one. It's going to be, this is what you're getting. So if you're a righty and it's a lefty, don't enter, or vice versa. Yeah, Kraken, I need to figure out a way to set up. So my camera, I think I've showed you guys this before, but I use the Sony, I think it's the ZV-1 is this one. So like when I do my hands behind the, hands in front of the camera dealer when I'm over there in the corner. This one has really good picture on it, and it's really easy to use and stuff. But apparently you can hook this up to your interweb somehow through the deal. I'd have to get a long cord, but you can live stream through it because I use like an Elgato, webcam to do this. But apparently you can hook that up, and that'd be really cool to do like a real breakdown cleaning live, you know, try to answer questions and stuff. Steven dropping in. Steven, I hope you're good, buddy. Yeah, who knows? Might get demonetized. That's all right. James, I've never used the real snot. I've always used the KVD line, and then I got the stuff at Walmart. Real, I think it's Real Magic, which worked good too. You're supposed to just reapply, I think, like every trip or something. And yeah, I never do. But yeah, it helps. It definitely does help when you go out. Yeah, actually, hold on. I'll go grab those here. I'm going to, I wish I had a game or something I could pop up for you all. Patrick's actually sent me some of the new jerk baits, so we can show those. I know Hank did a video on them, so I appreciate that. I appreciate folks supporting me and sending stuff over. Let's see, where was that question? Somebody was asking on something on a reel, and it just switched. I don't know where that went. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. All right. Okay, that didn't take too long, luckily. Okay, found the reel. I knew I had it sitting over there. I found it the other day. That's the embarrassing part, is I found the reel. I bought it. Forgot about it. Haven't ever used it. Okay, so it's the BB1. This is, oh, here's the oil I was telling you about. So there's one of the little oils that comes with it. And I just use those oils now because they're free. And like I said, one will last you forever. Let's see. Here's some of the other stuff I was telling you about too. If you've never seen these, this has the little line indicator deal here, like that. So you can mark your line, what kind of line you're using. That is kind of handy, actually. What speed is this one? This is the turn bearing 6.2 to 1. So I got it for cranking. The nice thing about the BB1s, they have a little bit deeper spool. I got the 6.2 to 1 speed to use for cranking. Can hold enough line. You can make those good long casts to make sure you can get your bait down to where you want it. Stay down in the strike zone longer instead of short little cast. 6.2 to 1, 6.8 ounces. Yeah, I don't know what else I have to say about it, but yeah, it feels super good. And this is that same frame, that SLP. This frame, I love this frame. Like just in hand, fits good. Yeah, so the BB1 reel feels great. Dummy Debo bought it and never even used it. So, oh, it is a lefty too. How about this? How often do we see this? People ask me all the time, why do I use both right and left-handed reels? Left-handed I like for things that I just cast and retrieve. Feels very natural to me now. Took me basically a winter of flipping and pitching with a left-handed reel in my basement and just flipping it, doing that kind of stuff. But I found when I go to flip and pitch stuff, I just don't have the power in my right arm. I feel like it's noodly. So I still use right-handed, not specifically or not only for that, but I still prefer right-handed reels. So setting with my left arm, I'm a southpaw. So my left hand has always been my powerful, more, stronger arm. Setting hooks with like a jig, Texas rig and that, I still like to have a right handle reel, but this is a lefty. So maybe we'll actually, maybe we'll break this into two, because somebody might get the lefty reel and not want, or vice versa, might want the jerk baits and not a left-handed reel. So we'll do two giveaways. Patrick said he'd send put a thing of these in the giveaway. He actually sent me for free a whole stack of them, the new line. So I'll just put these in if he wants to send me some. If not, I'm cool either way. But I will give away these. So the colors, really, really good colors in these. So this is the new suspending 0 to 6 feet, 4.5 inches, 3/8 ounce. This is the violet cream. So it's kind of got that creamy bone color. It's got some violet iridescence on it, semi-translucent. And these are cool. He worked with Uncle Frank on these. We had Frank on, does a lot of the paint schemes with them. Layering the pearls, different layers to kind of show depth, which is cool. not just being, like a solid opaque, trying to layer the different colors. This one is what? FX Old Blue. It's a good one. There is FX Old Green. Kind of reminds me of like your Tennessee shad, that kind of greenish with the purple top to it. It's hard to show. The iridescents don't show, but it's almost like a green iridescent color on the side. There is FX Violet, which I really like this one. Kind of purple side, chartreuse belly, kind of that creamish yellow top. That's a pretty one. And then the last two, my favorite is this one. Rogue Northern Lights. Yep, Northern Light color, purple, chartreuse, dark back. Love that one. And then your all around, I think this is probably, if you could only buy one, this is the one I buy. FX Blue Violet. So it's got like a black back, blue iridescence on it, blue on the belly, a little pink throat. That's your kind of standard shad looking color. So there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 of those in the lineup. We'll do 2 giveaways. Let's get that one going now. And I will send somebody that stack. So it's going to be, ooh, who's going to guess it? Who's going to guess what the deal is here? But first, before we can get those giveaways, let's play fishing license trivia. Oh, why did I just lose? Why did I just lose 10,000 subscribers? Oh, poor Randall. He was all excited that night. He's like, yeah, I put a bunch of this together. It should be fun. Put like trivia questions together and stuff. Man, we just got raked over the coals that night. I thought it was fun. I like doing that, like fun trivia, trying to guess stuff. Whoops. Oh, what the hell? No, wrong screen. Oh my God. Help, Tom Cruise. This one. Okay, so hashtag Rogue. So this will be for the stack of Rogue jerkbaits. Let's see. No, people talking. Hey, oh, Kuda must be in here. Kuda, you're gonna get a shout out on my my video. I'm making some yig heads. Kuda will tell you who this is from too. It's a small guy. Well, the guy, not small in stature. I don't know how big the guy is, but a smaller company that makes these clamps. So before Brando, I haven't seen him in here, but Brando was making fun of my wacky rigs because the old ones, I would hang them in my little toaster oven to bake them, to set the paint, to make it hard. I would hang them, but sometimes if you have a little bit too much paint on it, like sometimes I'll double dip to get a little bit darker color. The paint will run a little bit and leave like a little nipple at the bottom of it, like where it's dripping. So it's like a wacky head with like a nipple nose out the front of it. That's if you're hanging it up like this, or just don't put too much paint on. But I tend to, I guess, dip a little bit too heavy. But the cool thing about this is if Kuda's still in here, he can tell you what the guy's name is. I forget. And the guy sent it to me. I bought it, sent it. I kept waiting. I'm like, hey man, I haven't got my package. He's like, oh, that's strange. He's like, yeah, I show it's blah, blah, blah. Had to hit him up again. I'm like, I sent it. He's like, damn it. He's like, it must have got lost. So without any questions, like, I'm so sorry, man. You shouldn't have to deal with this. Sent me a whole brand new pack. I never got it. So I don't know what happened to the other pack. Cause I would have told him, I'm like, if I get them, I'll send them back. And I think he even said, no, don't worry about it. Merry Christmas. You get 2 of them or whatever. But I can't get this back in. I was trying to put that in there. The cool part about these things, they have 2 little clips on each end and they sandwich together. Oh my gosh, they're all going to fall out. They sandwich together in a V. So for any of you folks out there that like to make your own tackle, these are really nice, whatever the company that dude is that makes them. And he backs his product, which I love. Even though it was lost, he sent me another pair for free. So then when you bake them, you set them in your little easy bake oven like this. And if there's a little bit too much, it just kind of runs down the shank here on the lead and stuff, which if you're tying them, you're never going to see it. These are going to be for swim baits, so it's going to have a plastic up. You'll never see it anyway. Now, ooh, that was probably really loud for you guys. I'm sorry. Now, the fix to that would be Debo, just put less paint on. But sometimes I don't like the single dip. I have to go back for a double dip. So yeah, this is the video I'm going to finish filming up tomorrow. But anyway, Kuda showed me that, or hooked me up with that guy, told me about him. So you can make sure they stand up and bake. So how does Luz compare to Shimano and Daiwa in the same price range? Well, there's different things. It depends on what you're talking about, because a lot of people I know will pick up a Shimano and say, oh, dude, they can't hold a candle to a Shimano. It's the smoothest. Well, if smoothness is the biggest thing, then yeah, sometimes Shimano's blowing the others out of the water. You might pick up a Curado K and it's too big in your hand, or You don't like the knobs on it, or there's certain things that people look for, so it's not always a like for like. Shimano's got great fit and finish. It's not wiggly usually. They're always well put together and smooth. I personally think there's better brake systems on the market. Like I said, Daiwa. And then Luz is kind of in between. The brakes are pretty good, feel good in hand. Um, some of them I feel like the quality control maybe might not be as good, when you start getting into some of the cheaper ones. But like I said, the LFS is one of my favorites, and I've still got my old one from back in, oh God, that would have been, I started replacing my gear before YouTube. So that would have been probably 8 years ago, whichever version of the LFS that was, because they've had new, obviously new versions that have come out. But okay, let's see. Let's get up to some questions here, and then we'll pick a winner. 148. Come on, can we get to 160? Give me a 160. That's 100 less people that are in here. Oh, Tim, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. It could be. I don't mess with silicone sprays. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's probably some stuff you could get. Yeah, the KVD line conditioner is supposed to also help take out some of the real or the line memory. It's like the coils, if you're fishing for a while, with line, it starts to get that coils when you throw it out. It's supposed to help with that some. The biggest thing I've found is go with a line that doesn't tend to do that. For me, Trilene XL in the red box. Dad and I've used that forever. It's soft, stays soft for a long time. Or with your fluorocarbons. Cool thing with actually, I can probably show you on this. What did I do with it? The one I just bought from Alex. I don't know what the hell I did with it. Oh. So I'm guessing he probably had fluorocarbon on here. Fluorocarbon. So the thing that people will say about fluorocarbon is, I use fluorocarbon because it doesn't have stretch. And that's a misconception because it's still a nylon line. It's still it's actually, I guess, a single fluorocarbon extrusion. But with this line, the cool thing about fluorocarbon is once you start to get memory in it. So see this? You guys probably know what I'm saying. Like you can see this tiny line. It's got pretty light line on here. But you see this coil? What you can do with fluorocarbon is take it. You could hook it to the hitch of your truck or tie it to a tree or something a little bit. Pull it, and it takes that memory out. So now completely straight for the day, you're fine to go with it. You have to keep redoing that. Some lines are better. Some lines, I didn't say some line is better. Some lines are better than others. Some really have it, like P-Line CXX, super strong, but man, that stuff is wiry and will coil up like hell. I use the P-Line Tactical, super soft, stays that way for a long time. If you get over to, like, speaking of Sunline, the Sunline Sniper, really good fluorocarbon. Seagar, the Invisex is kind of the gold standard, I think. Like middle line, they've got more expensive ones, and Red Label is a little less expensive, but it coils up more. It's like Seagar and Invisex. Yeah, so it just depends on, I don't know what they put into, if there's other mixtures or what goes into the fluorocarbon to make it more supple. I find that stuff interesting. It'd be cool to watch, but I don't know where I was going on that rant. We're to 160, so I'm pulling a winner here. Okay, I am sharing, right? Yes. Okay, for the first winner, so I'm going to have to erase this because you're not getting both. These are for the rogues. So we'll do real. Oh, yeah, must be present to win. Brendan, I haven't seen Brendan in here. I need Brendan to record that for me. Oh, Chris. Oh, it's rigged. People are going to say it's rigged, Chris. Rogues. Chris Russ coming out of left field. You know what I should do instead of sending Chris the rogues? I should just send in some batteries and be like, sorry, since it was a live and you won, you have to round down and you just get batteries, Chris. They're going to say it's rigged. Okay, well, must be present to win. Hopefully he's here. If he's not here, actually, I already know where to find him. But is he here? People are talking about drinks when I got up. Man, I'm so far behind again. Chris, are you here? Oh, Patrick will send it directly. Patrick, thank you very much, brother. Okay, I will get that. Chris is here. Okay, well, I don't see it, but I trust fishing. Way to go, Chris. He's here. Okay, I didn't see it. I trust you guys. Kraken said he's here too. Okay, I will get Chris's stuff over to you, Patrick. Thank you very much, Patrick. Very, very nice of you to do that. Good folks over there, of course. Patrick also sent Dizzle a War Eagle hat and some War Eagle jigs. So the next time I see him, have to hook him up with that. But I always appreciate you stepping in, Patrick, and sending stuff over to support the channel, man. My voice is on the fritz too. Okay, now I'm going to do a new one because there might have been people that left. That was something that I learned from that night. I want people to get a fair chance at this, except I have to bring it all up again. Oops. Okay, so this one will be hashtag BB1. All right. Hashtag BB1. So this will be for a left hand if you're just getting in here. Must be present to win. I'm not going to play, oh, but I was here, but you weren't there. But nope, got to be here. Hopefully you're in the United States. If you end up being a Canadian brethren, I'll probably still send it, but it'll cost me $80 to send it up there, which is dumb as hell. But it's a lefty. So BB1 lefty. So if you're righty, don't want it, don't enter. Don't enter and then email me and say, oh, I'm a righty. I didn't know I don't want it. Lefty, left-handed. BB1, 6.2 speed, great little reel, good for cranking. It's got a good line capacity on it. Solid little reel, nothing wrong with it. I just found it the other day in a box of random fishing tackle and forgot I purchased it. And I kind of shook my head like, Debo, what the hell are you doing? You got too much stuff. So I really cracked back a lot. I didn't buy nearly, probably a quarter, a third of what I've bought in the years past. So Robin, I was thinking the exact same thing. Yeah, all you nerds can't be lefties in here entering this. We hardly ever see the lefties. That's funny. That is funny. If I had to, I would certainly do both, but okay, let's see. What else do we have for questions? I was surfing back here before we got to the giveaway on those. There was a couple questions I saw. I should have started them. Why didn't I just star them, Debo? Get with the deal. Nice. Aaron, we always got to get our Guggen Scott question in. Man, Dizzle hasn't been here for me to pick on him to talk about Guggen gear. Yeah, they get a bad rap. I use some of their things. Some of the lures suck. Some of them are good, just like any other brand. Companies have to be open to that and be able to talk about what's good and what's bad, because if somebody says XYZ is bad at your company and they automatically go into defensive mode and say, oh, well, no, it's not. You have to, especially if enough people are saying it, like the Guggen clickbait, that thing was awful junk. But a lot of people like their Bandito bugs. I like the Trench Hog, even though Gramps ruined the image of it for me. Trench Hog, I think, is a really cool lure. Different shaped plastic. What's the other one? I want to say there's two Guggen lures I really like. The Trench Hog and something else. What was the other one? I don't know. But for most part, I don't really use a ton of their stuff. You know, it's marketed toward the younger crowd, and you know, the folks that watch their channels and stuff really kind of gravitate toward that. But explore more fishing. Lakes, rivers, and ponds. Rate them from best to worst. Hope it makes sense. Yes, it does. Lakes to rivers to ponds. I would say my first favorite is lakes. Bigger, you generally have more spots you can get to, more, you know, fishing jetties, just more stuff to fish. I love pond fishing, but you know, a lot of the ponds can be pretty one dimensional. It's a fishbowl shaped pond with some grass, right? Or you find a good one with like a few laydowns, and then the rest of it is all grown up in cucumbers, pointy freaking stupid things you walk through them and they make your arms burn. Basically, the point I'm saying is you can't get to half the damn pond. So yeah, rivers or lakes, ponds number 2, rivers. So if we're talking like big rivers versus creeks, I don't do much creek fishing. I know we've got them around here, but I mean, I would be down to Wade, actually one of the guys that I work with does a lot of creek fishing, and there's one not too far from me. It's like 15 minutes that I could go hit, that I want to hit this year. Hopefully get some smallmouth and stuff. Um and if we're talking big rivers, you got to have a boat. I mean, they're scary. You know, you get those roller dams, and you got to know what you're doing on the river. There's so much stuff you can hit on them, and just makes me nervous. I don't, I can't do it in my little 11-foot John boat, but yeah, the lakes are what I grew up fishing. You know, anywhere from 200 to 1,000 acre lakes around here, yeah, is pretty common what we've got. So that would be my pick. Let's see, 14 people talking about price on something. Brody, rigged, dude. As soon as I saw Chris, I'm like, oh no, rigged. Steven says rigged. Yep. Let's see. Here's one 571. When I respool a reel, that's what I do. I'll walk it out in my yard. Yeah, that's a good way to make sure it goes on straight. You know, you're not getting too loose. You know, there's different ways you can do it, but yep. Let's see. Yes, I've had the same Bass Pro. Yeah. So there was somebody was saying, I don't know, somebody was saying that the Bass Pro XPS was made by Seagar. Man, it must have been a bad box, because a lot of people use it and say it's really, really good stuff. Mine was absolute garbage. I had multiple breaks, and it was the more expensive stuff too. It had to have been a bad box, because the number of people that said they like it and use it, especially if it's made by Seagar, and that happens. You know, if you might get a bad spool, and I'm sure, Seagar seems like the type of company. I've never reached out to them, but a lot of those companies, you reach out to them, even with a bad box, they'll just, they'll replace it for you, right? So if you reach out to Seagar and say, "Hey, this box was absolute crap," more often than not, with a lot of those, they'll just replace it. And I'm not saying just line companies. Most of the bigger companies in fishing who I've had problems with, even like obviously Tackle Warehouse, I've had to contact them a couple times on stuff. They've been awesome. That's a big thing for me, is the service of the companies that I'm working with, or that I'm buying from. LOM, Pacific. Yeah, that's another one. It was weird, because there was kind of that whole craze, and some of these budget reels trying to bust out on the market. The thing with like the fishing market is it's so tight. You can't just be a random company. Pacific kind of comes to mind. You used to see a bunch of ads and stuff for them, and I feel like I've not seen as much. So I've only used one Pacific reel. I bought the Alloy M, and it was a solid little reel, aluminum frame. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. They seem to be like so popular, and I feel like I don't see much of their stuff at all anymore. I could be wrong though. Okay, let's see. A couple more. We're at 172. Let's get to, what should we do? 180? There's 285 people in here. 180, and we'll pull winner. Let's see. I order some of those. People talking about different things they ordered for Christmas. Fishing license. Cracking Bass. Yeah, I appreciated his effort that night too, man. I was having fun, then man, we were just getting roasted in the comments. Well, there's William. I was just speaking about you earlier, William. Your buddy reached out to me, sent me a nice long email. William, another good guy. That's what I said. Like, you guys keep me in this, whether you think it or know it or not, but you really, really do. Steven, thank you. Yes, I'm most definitely getting demonetized after some of the nipple talk, probably. I was talking about the paint on jigs, people. Get your minds out of the gutter. Oh my gosh, you guys, the comments crack me up. Okay, what are we at? If you got your questions, get them in. After I do this one, I'll take a couple questions. We're at 177. I want 180. 180, or I'm not giving it away. There, I said it. Let's see. There was another question down here somewhere. I just need, let's see. No. Yeah, Bruce, good point. Yeah, lefty for top water and jerk baits. Yeah, where you can just cast and reel them in. I can use either for those. It's fine. I really like if I'm short, especially short target casting, like if I'm doing like a spinner bait and just short target casting and, yep, hit this tree, hit that tree. I really like a left-handed reel where you can just, I realized what I was missing out on using right-handed reels for all that time. Because people, man, you wouldn't believe the people in comments. People don't miss anything on videos. And they're like, oh, why is this guy using a lefty for some and right for other? And then even back in the day farther, like when I did my baitcaster video, they're like, this guy uses a right-handed reel and casts and then switches hands to reel. This, why would you listen to him? This guy's an idiot. It's like, oh my gosh, people, get a life. Leave a positive comment. If you don't have nothing nice to say, just get out of here. Luckily, my channel is pretty clean. I don't have many trolls. Once in a while, I get somebody to roll through. I just block them. I don't have time for that crap. If somebody jumps in live and starts trolling or on my videos, I just block them and done with it. I don't want to deal with it. Okay, we're at 182. Let's get the giveaway going. Okay, must be present to win. Got to send me a screenshot of your YouTube so I know it's you. If you're Canadian brethren, hope you're not, because it'll cost. So this is Patrick that just sent the jerk baits for a giveaway. What a predicament to be into. Patrick, I wouldn't feel right about sending you the reel. That would be weird. I've got other reels that I can talk to you about and send you, but that would be, oh my God. Is he in here? Let's see what he says. That is freaking funny. Dude, that's the ultimate of being freaking rigged. Patrick, if there's a reel you want to try, I think, was it you I was talking to a while back about gear? I've got a bunch of other reels. I will hook you up with something else. My conscience. Yeah, he said redraw. Okay. Yeah, if you're looking for a certain reel, I think, was that you? Somebody I was talking to about trying a different reel. I don't remember if that was you or not. But I got the hookup for you. I'll hook you up, my friend. You've been so nice to the channel. I'm going to redraw though. Damn, that is the epitome of rigged. Like, I don't know. I pressed a button. Y'all are watching it. I have no control over this. Kirk. Okay, there we go. Kirk Blackadar. Are you here, buddy? Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking on this one when I spun it, Mike. I'm like, dude, if Joshua comes up, I'm going to flip crap. And I would have gave it to him. Joshua hasn't won for over a year. I stopped doing it, giving him giveaways because we went in every left and right. When I hooked him up with the reel, I hooked him up with some stuff because the kid's always in here, man. You can't, Joshua, I don't know how old you are. I just say kid, but you can't knock on him because the dude is in here all the freaking time supporting. So yeah, Joshua, you're off the naughty rigged list. Okay, anyway, Kirk, that's what I was supposed to be doing. Is Kirk here? Kirk, way to go, Kirk. My next one will be Stubbs. As you said that, guess who just come tip-tapping down here? Hi, boy. You want to win a giveaway? Would you use a bait caster? You want to win the next giveaway? Huh? Oh, buddy. Okay, Kirk, are you here? There he is. Thanks, Debo. Okay, Kirk, send me a email, debosfishing@gmail.com with a screenshot of your YouTube. And I will get that over to you. All right, what do we got for questions? We'll take a couple more. I still have 280 people watching, y'all. Y'all are too dang kind. Watching some dude in his basement do rigged giveaways, set up giveaways. He gets treats. Yeah, watch this. Josh, watch this. Stubby, do you want a treat? Stubby, do you want a treat? What? Do you want a treat? Do you know what the word treat means? Do you need a treat? You want to lose BB1 reel? It's lefty. Are you lefty? Let's see. Which one? That's it. Can they see? Shake. Oh, you're a lefty. Okay. We'll get you the next giveaway. I can rig it. Or I mean, no, they're not rigged. All right. Anyway, what else we got for questions here? Let's see. Aaron, I'm planning on getting, let's see, I can take that down, right? I did write Kirk down. Yeah, I don't want to forget people. My short-term memory is absolute garbage. Okay, so getting a new Daiwa Tattoo 100 for my jerkbait rod. Do I get a 6.3 or 7.1? That kind of depends on if it's a jerkbait fit what works for you. I personally like something where I can take up more line, a 7, because I'm working it all with the rod. But some people like to do, like when you're working it faster, jerking it faster, and I'm demonetized again. Steven's probably jumping all over this. When you're popping your rod faster, some people kind of like to reel and match it while they're, for lack of a better word, popping their reel. Now you'll have me self-conscious. But when you're working a jerkbait, some people like to match the reel speed to it. I personally like a 7 speed, like as an all-around. So that's what I'd go with, but because you're moving the jerkbait with your rod, not the reel. So I guess that's what I was getting at. That took far too long to get that out. Okay, here we go. This is the one we're going to end on. This is a good one. What is your recommendation on a casting rod around $100? We didn't get much into the rod talk. So I talked about the budget rods that I like. Let's switch back over here. And I was actually chatting with somebody on Instagram the other day about this $100 rods, because they said, you talk a lot about the $100 reels. What are your favorite $100 rods? And I stopped to think about it of like, yeah, I talk about that a lot, but I don't go into the rod stuff as much. I feel like you can get better deals on rods almost, maybe is why. I don't know. But let's see. So when I look at rods, actually staying on Lew's, one that has impressed me as one that didn't seem anything great when I bought it. I wasn't super excited about it. I actually didn't use it for a while. Then after I did, I ended up buying 2. I think these are still $100. Yeah, the TP1X. So I've got a couple of these. They do run a little soft, like we were talking about earlier. Some brands tend to run on the softer, more moderate fast side. I've got a 7-foot, the 7-foot, is it medium heavy? Yeah, I have the 7-foot medium heavy. Then I've got the shorter one for jerkbaits. It's a medium light, 6.8 for jerkbaits. Really like that one at $100. Solid little rod. I've had no issues with it. If we look at, so TFO's got sales right now. I do like the Kistler graphite rod. That one's $100. But TFO has sales on the $150 rod. They don't have a $100 one that I like, but I really like that $100 $150 the Tactical Pro, I think it is, in that line. I was looking at rods and talking to them too. I forget what the other one was. Daiwa, if you can find it, they used to have sales on, which you wouldn't even have to, I guess, go with that one. You could get the $100 one, but Daiwa's lineup, I really like the Tatulas. You used to be able to get these on sale, or the previous version of them, the older ones. Really like those, especially if you like full cork. That's what I was talking to him about. Because a lot of it depend, do you hate cork? Do you hate EVA? Where does that land? Because their $100 one is the, what is it? I forget. They have one. It's $100, right? Oh yeah, the Tatula XT is the new one. So if you're like that one, but he said he didn't like the EVA when we were talking about it. So really good rod there. You can go with the Shimano SLX rod. I personally like the Tatula XT better. I put more time in with the SLX and I actually liked it, the new version. I need to do a video comparing these two because they just released new ones. Was that this year? I think this year. Oh no, it would have been late last year I had them and then used them through this year. Let's see. What else? I think there was one more we were talking about. I don't know which one he ended up going with. The thing too, like when you get into all the rod brands, look at all the rod brands. Like there's a ton of, DEBO'S. You could go with the Fury, which is a little bit higher priced. I need to do my review on the Maverick, which is their $100 rod. Really liked it. Great do-it-all rod. Here. Yep. So the black and blue one. Good rod for $100. I had a lot of luck with it this year. And a little softer. Some of the, I would say if you have questions specifically, you're looking at a Dobbins, hit up Hellabass. He's had Gary Dobbins on. Super good talk when he had Gary on. But yeah, hit him up. He knows all of them, but of the lines that I've used in Dobyns, they tend to run softer. I think that's about it. I think those were the ones we talked about. Hopefully that helps. What else we got? Okay, still 230. Let's see. Is there any other questions? Make sure. Dig said, I said the TREAT word, and Zeus woke up there, his dog. Yeah, Moose wants a pillow. Luckily, he hasn't gotten naughty with the pillows lately. Thank goodness. How much does a fishing license cost? Oh, it cracks me up. Let's see. When you have I don't know about those. I don't know about those. No. Yeah, so we're talking about the rods, Tatula XT, Dobyns, Arc. Yeah, Arc. Check out their stuff. Like I said, I've had good and bad stuff with them, but actually funny that we say that. At one time, I was going to replace all of mine with the Sniper. They don't even make this one anymore, but this was one I got caught in. Oh no, this was the frog. Was this the frog rod? The 7? Yeah, 7.3 mag medium heavy. This was the day I was fishing that frog at a pond, caught it and was trying to lift it up the bank and broke the tip. That was like a six something pounder that day. Anyway, as far as fit in hand, they nailed it for me. The thing with some of the companies, if I grab this, some of the companies put the trigger too far back. And if you notice, usually what I've found the most comfortable to me is when you put the reel on and the trigger is just a little bit in front of the thumb bar. So if you do I don't have a ruler or anything. Hopefully you see what I'm talking about here. If you draw a straight line down from the back of the thumb bar, if the front of that trigger is back behind that, to me, they're not as comfortable. This one, I mean, this thing just, like, it feels like I'm going to throw a baseball. I am completely locked in. So there we go. I'm rambling about rods, reels. Listen, I love y'all. That's going to be it for tonight. I will be back again next Saturday. Appreciate everybody that continues to watch, support. Love the heck out of y'all. Thanks for watching. Till next Saturday.